If you want to be rich, you need to have an unhealthy obsession with making money. Most of the advice out there is find your passion, do what you love, and make a business out of it. This will make you both happy and make you money. But it's never that simple. I'm not saying that this will never work, but it most likely won't make you enough money to feel rich. And when you start doing something you love in the hopes of making money, you will eventually feel like you are doing a job and start to hate it. So if you want to be rich, your passion needs to be making money, not something that might help you make some money. And this is definitely not healthy, but that's what it takes to be rich. So if you can do that, I don't think being rich is a good path for you. For most people, this unhealthy obsession with making money comes from a young age. It's definitely rooted within us from our environments, but I think if you are really desperate, you can learn it. But before you try to learn it, if you don't have that drive, consider yourself lucky. Because when you are obsessed with making money, you will push everyone and everything away. And if you are lucky, you'll become rich within the span of about 10 years, so hopefully you still have some time to start new relationships and find your hobbies that you pushed away. But that's not the case for most people. Most people will have to keep on grinding for more than 20 to 30 years, so once you do scratch that itch of becoming rich, you might not have time to connect with people and hobbies that you pushed away. So all that money you made will not make you happy because you're too old to enjoy it. That's what most people mean by money can buy happiness, because you pushed the happiness away in order to pursue the money. Call me dumb, but even with all that, I'd rather be rich than poor. So with that out of the way, if you still want to be rich, there's two ways to go about it. You can acquire wealth as an individual by doing a job and maybe doing something on the side that will make you some money, or you could start a business and make money from that. Now the most straightforward and easy method is obviously to get a job and start building your wealth slowly, but there's a few drawbacks to this that you need to know. First of all, you can be rich if you don't have a high paying job. For example, it's much easier for a doctor who's making 300 grand a year to acquire wealth than a barista who's making 50,000 a year. And then you have to pay taxes on your salary, so that's not even the final amount. Then there are layoffs. Say you're making 200 grand a year from your job as a software engineer, and then suddenly you're getting laid off, you don't have any income for 6 months, and the only job offer that you got is for $80,000 a year. So you will have a hard time adjusting for that, and it will definitely eat up from your savings. Then there's the preparation time. Many people think that starting a profitable business takes time, which it does, but not as much as preparing for a job. Let's take a doctor for example. You have to go to college for 4 years and then med school for another 4 years, and then you can start your residency training, which is about 3 to 7 years, and if you are able to push through this 11 to 15 years, you can definitely make upwards of $500,000 a year. But do keep in mind that you are taking tons of student loans and you have to put in a lot of effort in order to graduate, and the dropout rate from medical school is upwards of 15%. But when it comes to a business, if you are able to put in this level of effort towards it and work every day for 4 years, there's a huge chance that you will create a successful business that can make you at least 10 grand a month. But there is always that chance. When you're starting a business, there is no guarantee whether it'll be successful or not. Unlike the journey to become a doctor, where if you do everything right, there's like a 85% success rate, the journey towards creating a profitable business has only like a 20% success rate, and even lower if you want to make big money. But even then, I personally think starting a business is the most effective way of becoming rich because it gives you more scalability. But if you don't have money and experience, you need to build up some capital and gain some experience of how a business is run by doing a job. Now let's break down the activities of a job and a business. So there are 3 main components in both: doing, selling, and admin. In a job, you dedicate about 80% of your time to doing, which is where you actually do the task you signed up for. And then I'd say about 19% to admin work, which is where you write reports and conduct meetings and stuff like that. And then the selling part is about less than 1% unless you are doing a sales job. But in a business, this is completely different. The selling is the most important part. You spend about 50% of your time selling, and then about 20% on admin work and 30% on actually completing tasks. And the more you grow your business and hire new people, the admin work will eat up from the doing and sales parts. So if you are even considering starting a business,
You need to have sales.
because if you have sales, you can fix everything else. But if you don't have sales, you don't have a business. Also, unlike a job where you try to climb up the corporate ladder by gaining more knowledge and experience, when you are in the business field, sometimes the first 2 to 5 businesses that you start will not make you any money. And that's why I said that you need to have an unhealthy obsession with making money. When something isn't making you money, you can let your emotions get in the way and keep doing the same thing expecting a different result. start. You need to pivot as soon as you realize that this business will not make you any money. In terms of what type of businesses to start, as I said before, don't start a business just because you're passionate in a field and you love to do it if you want to be rich. And the most common advice in the internet is solve a new problem and create a startup for it. But I personally think unless you are incredibly talented and lucky, it's really hard to succeed with that. The easiest way is to find out what's already working. Once you choose a business model, get some sense into how the business is actually run, how much money it makes, what are the costs, what type of marketing is being done, and analyze every single factor of the business. And then before you go ahead and start the business, get some type of education in that field. Don't waste your time and money with degrees, just watch some YouTube videos or find a cheap course that gives you comprehensive knowledge about it, and then if you're actually good at it, go ahead and start the business. And once you do that, you need to be consistent for at least 3 months and work really hard. After about 6 months, check the record, see if it's making a profit. If it does, is it increasing or is it stagnant? And then take a decision whether to completely stop the business, pivot to a different niche, or continue the same way. Keep in mind that even though the journey is hard, you only need to strike gold once, and when you do that, you can make millions of dollars. And another myth that lazy people mostly believe is that you can be rich by passive income. I'm pretty sure you encountered videos on YouTube where they claim that you can make upwards of
$5,000 per month
through various ways like YouTube automation or affiliate marketing. And I'm not saying you can't, you definitely can, but it won't be passive. You still have to put in a lot of work in order to get that money. And the only real way of making truly passive income is by letting your money do the work for you. So for example, if you have $1 million, you can make about $100,000 a year without doing anything. And I mean, if you have $1 million, you don't need to hustle hard in order to make more money. You can just grow your wealth easily. So passive income is more of a tool to remain rich for the wealthy rather than gain wealth for the poor. So bottom line is, even if you decide to climb the corporate ladder and gain your wealth that way, or start a business to reach new levels of wealth, if you want to be rich, you need to have an unhealthy obsession with making money. That's pretty much it for this video. If you learned anything from this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this. I'll see you in the next video.